Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord. So I am live in my classroom again. I've been working really hard to get things set up and ready. We still have no air conditioning, so it's still incredibly hot. It is a balmy 89 degrees in my room right now. So I wanted to come on for a few minutes today and talk to you about our classroom library. We've been getting a ton of questions about the library in our classroom. So I wanted to give you a brief explanation of how we have our library set up and how it works. We have a blog post about this as well, so you can check out that blog post. We'll put the link in the comments when we're finished. But I wanted to do a quick live just to show you the library, show you how it works. So as you can see, when you walk in, you come in our door right there. We have this hallway, so that's where the library is. So the library is the first thing you see when you come in our classroom, which we love. I think it sends a message that reading and literacy are so important, right? So that's part of why the classroom library is there. The other reason is logistics. There's just not any other workable space in the classroom, so this works out very nicely. The shelves that you see are custom built. So here in Nashville, we have a nonprofit that builds custom furniture for classrooms, for teachers. And so it's really cool that all you pay is the cost of the materials. So they're very, very inexpensive. The shelves that you see were actually custom built for my old classroom. They were built my old classroom had like a bay window in the corner. And so it had this kind of an octagon shape that these shelves I wanted them to fit into. So the shelves were actually built to fit around that window. So that's kind of why they're all different sizes, but they still work great here in the classroom. So these two shelves are right here, are where we do our theme displays. So coming up, it'll be back to school books. It might be fall books. It might be Halloween books, right? It might be holidays around the world books. So that's what you will see there. Those get changed out, every couple of weeks, maybe every month. Really just depends on units, themes, and holidays. But those are always going to be our theme displays. They stay there. The kids have no trouble accessing those books. They are secured to the wall with command strips, so they can't pull, they won't fall off. And so we have a little stool. If they need to get to the top shelf, they just grab their little stool, climb up there, and grab the books that they need. All right. So I'm going to move the camera a little closer so you can get a better look at the library. Okay. So here's the way the library is organized. The bins are just ice buckets from Walmart. They cost like a little over $1, so they're very cheap. These have lasted almost 10 years, maybe 7-8 years. So they've held up very well. So that's where I got them. I know sometimes they change the colors of them. So if you find a certain color you like, buy a bunch, just in case. All right, so here's how the library is organized. Every box is labeled with a number and the topic. So we don't do levels. No level in the library. I did topics, themes. There's a couple that are author specific, but really genres, themes. That's kind of how we broke up the library. And it's really, when you're doing your library, it's really up to you. It's a very personal thing about what categories you want, what topics, how you want to label your bins. So don't stress that. Make it work for you. And I get a lot of questions about, well, how do you know what book to go where? It's just a gut reaction. So I just got a new book. It was about a lemonade stand. And so gut reaction, lemonade is going to go in our food box, right? So books can go in a lot of places. They cover a lot of things. So wherever you feel most comfortable with putting the books. So each box has the theme or the topic and the number. This is key. So every box has a number. Now, there are 3 boxes that are labeled number 5 because those are all the same topic, right? So it doesn't matter which box they go in as long as they go in a 5. So here's the way it works. When the kids get a book from the library and they're done, all of the books are numbered. Just a little dot sticker with a number. The number is the same number as the box. So when you're done reading this book, you clearly see that it goes in number 5. So you can easily drop it back where it goes. So that's how we organize the library. That's how we keep it organized. That's how the kids know where to return the books. So they can easily match the numbers because the boxes are all numbered. The books are all numbered. And if it's, there are 4 or 5 boxes that are labeled number 7 because those are all books about school. It doesn't matter what number 7 it goes in as long as it goes in a 7. So that's really it. So it's a really simple way to organize the classroom library. It's all done by numbers. Starts with number 1. They're in order. It goes all the way. Right now we are currently up to 68 is the number that we go to. All right. And yes, Lisa, it helps with number recognition. Very good. Right. That's another part of it. It's all about number recognition. So beginning of the school year, this is a routine. This is a procedure that we teach the kids. We have a whole lesson on how to get a book. Right? How to get a book. Go read the book. Of course, I picked a book where the sticker has come off. How to get a book. And then something that's important to teach the kids, not only how to get a book where it goes, but how to put the books back so our books don't get damaged. So the kids are taught, and this is something I explicitly teach and explicitly model, when they put a book back, they have to put their hand in and they move the books. All the books in that box, and then they can put the book in. Because we don't want them to jam the books in, right? And so the kids know to either push the books this way or the books this way and then put the book back in the box. Because we don't want them shoving the books in the middle because that's how books get torn up. So they know how to get a book. They know how to put the books back safely. They know how to put them back in the right box because, again, everything is numbered. The boxes are numbered. All of the books in this box are going to be number 6. All of the books in this box are going to be number 31. So that's how we keep it organized. Super easy. The kids really do a great job with it. The great thing is they have access to every single book you see on these shelves. And I do not keep separate books for myself. There are not teacher books and kid books. Every book in this room is for everybody. So when I need a book for a read aloud, I can come right back to the library and grab a book because I know exactly where they are. Here's how well this works. Somebody will stop me in the hallway and say, hey, can I borrow a book about thunderstorms? I'm like, sure you can. Go in my room. It's in box 27. That's weather. I can almost always tell somebody exactly what number box to look in for a book because they're organized and I know that. And they've basically been in the same categories for several years. So it works really well for the kids, works really well for the teachers. If for some reason they don't have a sticker or they can't find the number or for whatever reason, we have a little stack down here at the end. Usually there's a basket there, and that's where they drop them if they don't have a number or if they can't find the right number to put them away. And then either I come back and put them up or one of their friends comes along and puts them up for them. So some of the categories. So we have math books. We have unicorns, books about school. We have science, camping, women's heroes, germs, family books, dinosaurs, pumpkins, fairy tales, llama llama books, weather, government and elections, community helpers, fall books, Halloween books, pumpkin books, apple books, human body and 5 senses, bugs, reptiles. We have books from Todd Parr. So that's an example. We have a lot of Todd Parr books. So those are all put together because they're all by the same author. We have books for Hispanic heroes. We have farm books. We have books about transportation. So that's some of the categories. Yes, Sandy, if you will go to our website and we'll put the link to the blog post in the comments. There on our blog post about the classroom library, there's a list of all of our topics. All right, so I want to go back and see if we got any questions. What books do you put out on the shelves at the beginning of the year? So on the theme shelves at the beginning of the year, those are going to be school books, books about kindergarten, books about back to school, books about being friends, those kinds of things. Let's see. All of the books are out for the entire year. Every book is out. The only books that we switch out are the books that go in the theme display shelves, but the rest of the books stay out all year. The kids have access to them all year long. I don't have separate teacher books. Every book in the classroom is right here, and everyone, kids, teachers, adults, whoever, everyone has access to those books all year long. So yeah, 68 categories. The reason that there are 68 categories is because over the last few years, I've divided some of the categories. For example, we used to have all of our fall books together. That was fall, Halloween, pumpkins. So I split those into Halloween books, pumpkin books, fall books. So we've split a lot of the categories into smaller categories. Christmas, we had Christmas, Holidays Around the World, and gingerbread books. So now those have all been separated into their own categories. So that's why there's so many, because we've narrowed down the topics and the categories. And so that's why we keep adding more. I'm scrolling back through to see if there are any other questions. Nope, we start the year with all the books. All the books are out all the time. I'm not seeing any other questions. Why do you not use levels? Because leveling a classroom library or your school library is not a best practice. We should not be forcing kids to read books only at their level. It's not a best practice. There's a lot of research out there that talks about this. So that's why we don't level the books in our classroom library. We want the kids to develop a love of reading, and the only way they're going to develop that love of reading is if they read books that interest them. And so that's why you don't want them just to read a level B, right? You want them to read and look at books that they like, that they want to share with their friends, that they want to talk about. So that's why we don't level the books. Let's see. Check one more time for any more questions. And if we miss any of the questions in the live, Martha, we do not level them. The books are absolutely not leveled in any way, shape, or form. These books are just really for the classroom. But if somebody asks to take a book home, absolutely we let them. But most of the time they don't. They stay here. But if they do want to take them home, they can. Do you have It's not appropriate to level books in any grade. You shouldn't be forcing kids into reading only leveled books. So a couple of the questions that I'm seeing, if you'll go back and watch the live from the beginning, we answer a lot of those questions. Do you have leveled readers separately? We have a book room in the school that we can get leveled readers from, but as we know, we're really moving away from leveled readers to decodable readers, so we don't use a lot of leveled readers in our classrooms anymore. All right. Hey, Tina, we do have a featured shelf. I talked about that at the beginning of the live, so you can go back and watch and see that. Students do have a book bag or a book box of their own, and that's where they keep their decodable readers. That's where they can keep their library book from the school library. So they do have their own book bag as well that stays in their cubby. We group by author, topic, theme, genre. How did you get a good collection of books? It's 18 years of collecting books. That's how... So that's it. That's where they all come from. Here in Nashville, we have a place called McKay's. It's a used bookstore. And so I got a lot of books there because they're super good quality, and they're really, really good price. eBay. I get a ton of books from eBay if I'm looking for a specific type, like a type of book or a brand or a publisher. eBay's a great place. Amazon, of course. Garage sales are great. But just 18 years of accumulating books. All right, so if you missed the beginning, if you want to know all the details, go back and watch this live from the beginning when we wrap up, and you'll be able to get all of your questions answered. If I get moved, do you have to go through all the books to find books that are your personal books? These are all my personal books. None of these are school books. Our curriculum does have read-alouds that we get, but those are collected at the end of each quarter. So all school books that belong to the school, that were paid for by the school, those all go back every quarter. So those don't get mixed in. So if I were to move classrooms or whatever, then these all go with me. They can use the books in the morning during arrival. They use the books during centers. If we have downtime, they can read books. So they have a lot of access to the books throughout the day. All right, so I think we got all the questions, because a lot of the questions I'm seeing now, if you'll go back and watch the live from the beginning, those questions will be answered. And if you have more questions, you can drop them in the comments. After watching the live, we'll be happy to answer those. We'll also put a link to the blog post explaining our classroom library and how it works. And that will help answer your questions too. So there you go. I hope this helps give you some inspiration and some ideas on how to organize your classroom library. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go home and sit in the air conditioner. All right. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.